7 rappers that got blackballed. The music industry is based on relationships, nepotism, and people playing favorites. As a rapper, maintaining good relationships with people in the business and other artists is essential to having a long career. The reason being is that making the wrong person mad could have you blacklisted from events, taken off of festivals, removed from playlists, all of which would be devastating to someone who's trying to make a name for themselves and build up their notoriety. Rappers, DJs, record executives, producers, you can make anyone mad, and if they have enough connections, you might end up regretting it when they try to blackball you. In this video, we're going to discuss 7 rappers who, for whatever reason, got blackballed from the rap industry. And we'll also discuss who exactly blackballed them. Before we start this video though, make sure you click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now here's 7 rappers that got blackballed. Number 7, Machine Gun Kelly. MGK is probably not the first rapper you expected to see on this list. I mean, he basically abandoned rap music and became a rock musician after his infamous feud with Eminem. But as it turns out, he was being blackballed since basically the start of his career in 2012. And by who, you might wonder? Eminem. This all stems back to a tweet he made in 2012 stating that M's daughter Haley was hot as F. It didn't help that she was 16 at the time and he was 22. This resulted in Eminem allegedly banning his music from his radio station Shade 45. Not only that, he apparently got the Fader and other media outlets to stop covering anything MGK related. M might also have ulterior motives considering that Kelly was signed to Diddy of all people, who has had some slight tension with M over the years. If you ask me, I don't think M's efforts changed the trajectory of Kelly's career in any meaningful way. And he ended up giving him the biggest spotlight of his career when he exchanged diss tracks with the Ohio rapper. Number 6, Pop Hunna. One of the first rappers to get famous from TikTok was Pop Hunna. A lot of people discovered him back in 2019 with his song Single, but the majority of people first heard him from Corvette Corvette, which was the biggest TikTok song of 2021, and even had fellow Philly rapper Lil Uzi Vert hopping on the remix. He had several record labels trying to sign him, was being reached out by the biggest names in hip-hop, and then it was revealed back in 2014 that he had cooperated with police. According to the paperwork that came out, then 14-year-old Pop Hunna was interrogated about a murder that he had witnessed, and gave police information on who he suspected was responsible for the crime and what he saw happen. Ever since then, no rappers have wanted to associate with him. Lil Uzi sent him a DM on Instagram and told him he wanted off the Corvette Corvette remix. And rappers like Trippie Redd and Toosii have refused to do music with him. All those label deals he was offered are probably off the table now. So it seems like he's going to have a hard time working in the music industry again. At least with rappers who care about snitching. Number 5, OG Mako. Not everyone will remember OG Mako, but those who remember will agree that he seemed like one of the next up-and-coming rappers from Atlanta. He was one of the first rappers to sign to Quality Control, along with Migos, Skippa da Flippa, and Jose Guapo, with his biggest song being You Guessed It, which peaked at number 90 on the Billboard Hot 100. That's pretty impressive considering it was before the streaming era in music. But at a certain point, something behind the scenes happened and Mako started having problems with his label QC, along with Skippa and Jose Guapo.
But what was the motivation on their part, do you think, to hold your career back? Was it the fact that you were just volatile, that you weren't easy to get along?
I think I was too rambunctious.
Right.
I think from what it was that I wasn't a controllable asset. I was an asset, but not a controllable asset.
He took to Twitter to reveal despite having no interest in helping his career, QC had him stuck in a record deal and wouldn't allow him to release any music. He also said that they had sabotaged several other rappers' careers. This was back in 2018, and it seemed like he was at least able to start releasing music in 2020 and 2021. But it's unknown whether there's still tension between him and QC, and if they're still attempting to blackball him in any way. Number 4, Gucci Mane. The Gucci Mane we all know and love today is not the same Gucci Mane we remember from 2013 and the World Star hip-hop days. Today it seems like Gucci is on good terms with everyone in the rap world. He can pretty much get a feature from any rapper he wants. So it's hard to imagine him actually being blackballed. But at one point in time, it was certainly the case.
I've been big bro from day one. I ain't got no big bro. I can't look up to nobody. Ain't nobody help me.
Right.
Why they all blackball me.
Really?
Yeah.
Most of Gucci's being blackballed can all be traced back to him having beef with other rappers. He had problems with more rappers than you can count on one hand. Jeezy, Waka Flocka, Jay-Z, Future, Yo Gotti, Rick Ross, I could keep going.
Why do you think you were blackballed at that time?
I was blackballed early in my career because I just had beefs with rappers who was probably more popular than me.
So a lot of people was like choosing sides and choosing affiliations. They'd be like, I like Gucci, I like his music, but I'm not gonna work with him because if I work with him, maybe this other artist might don't work with me.
Right.
He was at one point even banned from the Breakfast Club due to a feud with Angela Yee. But you never heard about Gucci complaining about being blackballed. He didn't really care about being a famous rapper, so he wasn't concerned with having the biggest features on his projects or being featured in magazines. Number 3, 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine is an example of a rapper who actually got blackballed for a good reason. Since he got his first taste of fame in 2017, he's been nothing but a nuisance to the rap world, and has made enemies with about every person he's encountered since then. Him being blackballed first started when a lot of people didn't want to associate with him due to the fact that he was, at one point, a registered sex offender due to being charged with exploitation of a minor. Somehow, he managed to overcome that stain on his reputation. But once he did, he messed it up by starting beef with every rapper you could possibly think of, for the sole reason of promoting his music. You would think someone who's been so unabashedly arrogant wouldn't be upset when they have consequences for their actions, but not Tekashi. He at one point took to Instagram to complain that the music industry is rigged because his single Trolls never made it to any Spotify or Apple Music playlists. The audacity to think that after making an enemy out of everyone in the rap world except DJ Academics, that he could still be on playlists with other major labels. That just tells you what kind of guy he is. And that's probably why he hasn't released any music in almost an entire year. Number 2, FBG Duck. The Chicago drill scene was one of the most influential movements in rap music in the past decade. But if you think about all the rappers that actually became successful from that time, they all seem to have something in common. Chief Keef, Lil Durk, King Von, they're all members of the BDs. But a good portion of the drill music we all love and remember was made by GD rappers like FBG Duck, Lil J, P. Rico, Little Mister, and the list goes on. Duck was one of the closest to actually making it through his music career. But due to the fact that he had beef with the aforementioned BD rappers, he apparently missed out on a lot of opportunities that could have helped him break through. In an old Instagram live, Duck alluded to the fact that Lil Durk would discourage out-of-town rappers from collaborating with him.
They don't like that. They don't want none of their rapper friends with me or none of that. They be telling their rapper friends don't with me and
There's no proof that this was necessarily true, but considering how much Duck dissed Durk's cousin in his music, and how deep their beef was, I wouldn't be surprised. Despite being blackballed, Duck did end up signing a record deal with Sony, collaborated with people like 21 Savage and Kevin Gates, but there's no telling how much more successful he could have been if he wasn't being held back. Number 1, NBA Youngboy. Last but not least is NBA Youngboy. The Louisiana rapper has been somewhat popular since at least 2016, but in recent years he's become a force to be reckoned with in the rap world. He's consistently been the most viewed rapper on YouTube, beating out people like Eminem, Lil Baby, Future, Post Malone. So you might wonder, why is YB actually being blackballed if he's putting up those kinds of numbers? Well, there's a big disparity between his YouTube numbers and how much he's being played on the radio or added to playlists on Spotify. A report stated that in the same year that YB had 6 million streams on Spotify and Apple Music, he only had 55,000 plays on the radio. It was also revealed that in 2020 and 2021, his label spent $500,000 to promote his songs on the radio, while artists like Roddy Ricch and Lil Uzi got well over $1 million worth of radio promotion. In addition to that, he's got beef with almost every rapper in the industry, even the ones he used to be friends with like 21 Savage and Kevin Gates. And that's not necessarily all his fault. It's mostly people picking sides between him and Lil Durk. YB isn't out here purposefully trying to beef with everyone like 6ix9ine is. It seems like his music is just too raw and uncut for him to become a quote-unquote mainstream artist, even though his music organically does more numbers than most mainstream artists. So do the rappers on this list surprise you? Did we forget to mention anyone who's getting blackballed? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you leave.